Hi friends, welcome to my fake cooking show, my faux show for show, right? Let's talk pantry chili. Let's talk great recipe, really easy. There are two ways to make it. So, starting off, I have onions sauteed in the pan. I have a little bit of vegetable broth, and I have a giant, can you see it? This right here? This is a frozen thing of tomatoes and peppers that I froze in the late autumn when they were giving up the fight, but they weren't completely done. And I froze them in the freezer, and I just found them today, and I thought, yes, that'll be chili. So that's going in. I've got some tomato paste that I used some of it in the shashuka, but I didn't use all of it. That's gonna give it a really rich taste and make it feel like it has been cooking 4 days. So that's great, right? Any way you can build flavor. Now let's talk flavor. Now, if you are feeling like this is what you wanna do today and you have them, here's what you do. Go into your pantry, and if you have a packet of taco mix, 2 packets of taco mix, and 2 packets of ranch, put those in for the spices. That's the easiest way to do it. Just put the 2 taco packets, 2 ranch packets, and that's gonna give you a ton of flavor. If you don't have those, and you still want that kind of flavor, and that's the flavor you want, I'm telling you, I have won chili competitions with this chili, and it is it's a variation on a chili that my head of staff at Deep Run, my second head of staff at Deep Run made. Elizabeth had a great chili recipe, and I basically took her chili recipe and tweaked it, but the packets are the base of her. I don't use beef. I used turkey for a long time. I don't have any turkey that I'm willing to sacrifice to the chili today. So instead I'm using lentils. That's gonna give me a ton of protein along with the beans I'm using, and it's gonna give me a really meaty taste without there being any meat. This whole thing is completely vegetarian. So I've got a can of garbanzo beans, I've got a can of black beans, and I've got a can of dark kidney beans. I also have a can of green chilies diced. So those are gonna be the kind of cans that go into this. If I didn't have the tomatoes and the peppers frozen, then I would have chopped those up and I would have put those in fresh or frozen, either one. I save the end of onions, I save the end of celery, I save the end of carrots. I put those in a pot, I boil those, and then I get a great free, basically, vegetable stock, and that's what I'm using kind of as the base today. But in here, you can see I've put a ton of spices. I've got chili powder, I've got onion powder, I've got cumin, I've got garlic powder, paprika, sea salt, and that is gonna be my taco mix, right? And then for the ranch, I've got parsley flakes, minced onions, garlic powder, salt, and that's that. So I will put all of these guys, all of those are in this bowl. But when I post this, I will put the recipe for the chili in the comments or down below, right? So we've got all these guys going. I'm gonna put the peppers in, get all of those chilies in there. This doesn't get anything but better with time. Now, when it comes to a boil, and once you get boiling, especially because you don't actually have any meat products in there, basically it's gonna get ready to go. And we don't have any beans that we've soaked, so that means that that's good to go as well. You can choose to use the bean juice if you want. I like like to know exactly how much sodium is in the stuff that I'm cooking, so I'm not going to use the juice from the beans today. I'm gonna let the vegetable broth and I'm gonna let the tomatoes and onions and peppers really kind of give me that flavor that I want. So that's, I'm not gonna use the beans. But honestly, if you're just can't be bothered, stick it in. That's just gonna give you more flavor as well. But I don't want that today. So that's not how I'm going. But you can absolutely just dump in the cans if you can't be bothered. And honestly, there's no shame in that game. So we've got all these beans ready to go. Here they go, right in on top. I mean, seriously, there is no fanciness in this at all. This is all just getting in the pot, having a nice bath, doing some, need to move up that heat, just getting those flavors building together. And we're gonna eat this all week long. We can eat it on top of rice. It would be really good on tater tots. I still have some tater tots in the freezer and from Peyton's birthday. And I'm pretty sure there are gonna be tater tots and chili at some point this week, right? So we've got that. I'm gonna put half the lentils in. This is a 2 cup, they've been rinsed and washed. This is a 2 cup thing, so I'm gonna put a cup in, stir those guys in, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and put in my spices. Now it looks like a ton of spice, but it's got a ton of flavor. So spice is a great way to add flavor without adding calories. So you've got all these spices, they're gonna cook up with those lentils. And I know my friend Jim is not crazy. He thinks that I'm basically just hiding kale in everything I can. But here it is. I still have a little bag of kale and I just kind of think, let's put it in. So here it goes, right? I chopped it up. I got the stems off. I know it looks like a ton, but it's gonna cook down and it's barely gonna be noticeable, but it is just gonna wallop the chili with more veggies and more goodness, right? Look at that. You won't even be able to see it. I mean, in another 20 minutes, it's gonna be totally consumed. It'll give us a little bit more earthiness to the taste. I'm gonna give a little bit of salt. There's a little salt in my spice mix, but if I put in salt here, it is gonna break it down. I'm gonna put a little more pepper in as well. But yeah, we're gonna eat this with chips. We have a little guacamole, not fresh made. I can't find, well, one, we can't find a delivery system, but we're still okay with what's in our freezers and what's in our pantry. So we're okay in terms of food. And I'm making things that can last a couple of days, and so I'm gonna get the rest of the lentils in there. Oh, this smells really good. There's also some garlic that I cooked in with the onions as well. I forgot to mention that. So a little bit dirty counter, but you'll see. That's gonna be really good. And it doesn't even need the meat, right? So I think that if you have someone who is always kind of thinking, oh, I need to have meat in a meal, and they don't see you make it, I'm not saying be deceitful, I'm just saying cook a good meal, and then don't worry about the fact that they don't know it doesn't have meat in it, and then they will love it, and then they can say, hey, what kind of chili is this? And there's so many different kinds of chilies. There's the purist, like only meat, no beans kind of people. There's the mixture of both. I've just put a bunch of kale in. So, I mean, chili is what you call it chili, right? What is in your chili? Do you have a favorite chili recipe that is, you know, popular in your house or in your family? Does anybody in your family have a secret chili recipe? I wonder. So this is gonna cook down. I will show it to you once it is finished and been kind of cooking for a while, but I'm telling you, I might freeze some of this. I might give it out to a couple of friends. We'll see how big the pot is. And then I think I'm gonna put a can of water in. I've got a little bit more vegetable broth, but I'm gonna use that for the next show when I make a mushroom gravy, but that's coming up. Or that actually might get posted before this one, but there you go. You were in the future. The thing about this is that I probably would also put mushrooms in it, and definitely portobellos if I had them, but I'm saving. I only have a couple of things of mushrooms, and we really love mushrooms in our house, and I'm gonna make a mushroom gravy to go with some mashed potatoes. So that's a different meal, and mushrooms don't go in this meal. Turns out you can have a mushroomless meal. I don't know if is that what your M without is, you know, Monday meatless? Do you go mushroomless? How do you feel about mushrooms in your house? Are you haters? No judgment if you're haters, it's okay. Everybody has their thing that they are not keen on. Okay, I'm telling you, it smells fabulous. It is beginning to really kind of cook and get some heat in it. I'm gonna taste it once it's been cooking for about an hour, see if it needs some more chili flakes, see if it needs a little more cayenne to kick it up. We'll see. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how much the kale hides. What did I put kale in the other day that Peyton was like, I wouldn't have known if you hadn't told me? Oh, the shashuka. So hide your kale well. Okay, friends, this is star chili, or should I call it chard chili, that is gonna make you happy and feed you for days. So tune in. Well, you're not gonna have to tune in because by the time this all comes together, the end product will be here. Bon appetit, friends. Love from New Jersey. So here is the chili after having cooked for about 3 or 4 hours. You can see the lentils are really plump, the garbanzo beans, everything looks really great. That is gonna be just so yummy. Enjoy, my friends. You can do this so easy from the broth all the way to the end. I'm telling you, tater tots, rice, quinoa, just by itself, this is gonna make you happy. Chips, eat it with chips.